All right, back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Weyerbacher Brewing Company, and they are out of Easton, Pennsylvania, and this is their quad. So this is a Belgian-style quadruple ale that comes in at 11.8% alcohol by volume, 39 IBUs at the time of review. I don't know exactly how old this bottle is, and that's because it does have a bottled on date. However, and my camera, because it's terrible, is not going to show you, but there is like a smudge right here where the bottled on date would be. A couple of the other bottles I got from them do have the date right there. This one was smudged off. So I don't know how old it is, but I think it's relatively fresh, and that's because here in the Western New York area, more specifically Buffalo, New York, we're starting to get Weyerbacher again. It's been a good 4 or 5 years since we've seen their stuff on the shelves, and I think it's like 6 different offerings just showed up recently. I bought 4 of them. They're Mary Monks, which I've already reviewed. They're Tiny, which is a Belgian-style Imperial Stout. And they're, what was it? The hell is the last one? It's not Insanity, but it's the Blithering Idiot. It's the English barley wine. And I thought I'd pick up all of them and give them a go. It's been a very long time since I've had this one before, so full disclosure, I have had this one a couple times before. It's been a good 8 to 10 years. And I've always remember this one being a very well-made, well-brewed, and well-executed Belgian-style quad. Nothing, like, not at the top of the food chain for me personally, but I always found it pretty damn good. So I am curious to see how this one is to my palate nowadays. So we're going to crack this one open, get it into the glass, and see what we got going on. Also, the barrel-aged version of this, they're Blasphemy, I think. I've always loved that one. That's been my favorite between the two. Then again, barrel aging usually makes things better for me personally. So yeah, and also this is 11.8%. Everywhere you look, including their website, says 11.9, but for some reason it's 11.8 11.8 now instead of 11.9. So I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. So we'll give it a pour here into the Belgian tulip. Something like that. We'll leave the rest in at the bottom just in case, there's some goodies there. I'll pour them in at the end. So how does that pour out? Oh, it's beautiful mahogany color, deep red color. Hold up to light. There is fine particulates floating around, suspended in animation. Do a little bit of a swirl here, but we got a finger of this beautiful, straight up khaki colored head. Looks somewhat creamy, has a good clarity. On camera, you're not gonna be able to see my hand through the glass. Maybe you might be able to make out a shadow, but probably not because it is darker on camera. But if I hold it up to light, I can definitely see through it. So it has a good clarity to it. Has some alcohol legs. You could maybe call those sheets almost 12% kind of expectant, but it looks really nice. And this was out of my darker beer fridge at 54 degrees Fahrenheit, so probably prime drinking temperature for a style like this. Let's get a nose. Yeah. It just smells like a Belgian quad, but it has a little, and Belgian quads also have, to me, I've always found like English barley wines, they share a lot of the same notes from the fruity characteristics and like the burnt brown sugar, kind of just sugary, sweeter malt notes. This has a lot of fruitiness, like deep, dark, like almost like plums. Some dried fruit like figs and dates. Like a dried cherry. A lot of dried fruits for me. A big breadiness. Almost, to me, fruitcake vibes to this one. And as somebody under the age of 50 that likes fruitcake, which is a rarity, this smells delicious. Yeah, big bready. Again, I'd say fruitcake. It has a lot of different, there's even like a little bit of like a citrus character here. Dried candy fruits, dried dark fruits. A touch of like a banana yeast ester. The phenols are giving me, from the yeast, a bit of like a spiciness to it. I wouldn't say clovey. Maybe a little bit of coriander more so than anything. Oh yeah, it just smells really good. But yeah, there's caramel, there's toffee. A darker brown bread is the way I would say, like, I said like a fruitcake, but yeah, fruitcake's usually a darker brown bread. Man, this smells really good. Way better than I remember. Like, I've always found this one good. I think I used to give this one like a 4 in the 4 range, and then Blasphemy was like into that high 4.25, low 4.5 range. This smells better than I remember it. I've been saying that a lot recently, right? Must be something with my palate, or maybe because a lot of those beers I didn't sit down and dissect on camera and pick apart stuff. I think really in this atmosphere, doing reviews as opposed to just sitting down and drinking them, you start understanding more what you like, what you don't like, and things start to kind of resonate with your palate more so than if you're just, you know, hey, say you're watching a movie and you're drinking something or playing a video game or whatever. It's like when you start breaking down, you're like, wow, I like that note. Oh, I don't really care for that. Oh, I like this. That's why I love these reviews, man. You know, people have asked me recently, oh, have you gotten, you know, sick of it or are you getting burned out? Fuck no. Fuck no. I'm not even close to burned out. I've done, you know, 2,200 reviews on my channel and I'm loving it as much as the day I started my channel. So if I ever shut this channel down, it's probably not because I'm burned out. It's probably just for other reasons, but I just love this. I love talking beer. And you guys know I like talking in general. Anyway, let's get into this one. Cheers, everyone. Very, very nice. Very nice. Nose was better. Very nice. It's actually pretty fucking good. The nose was screaming fucking top tier. The taste not as much, but the taste is really delightful. The fucking alcohol is masked so beautifully. After that first sip, like I anticipated some kind of like visceral reaction to the alcohol because it's almost 12%. A little bit warming in the chest off that first sip. Nothing outside of that. Let's go back in. Body is a bit thin. This is like higher side of medium, lower side of full. I'd say more in the lower full range. It is almost 12%. It's a bit thin. I like to see this medium to full on body. Doesn't need to be thick and syrupy, but it is a little bit, I hate using the word watery because that's not correct, I don't think. It just doesn't have the viscosity that I anticipate from this style. So it's a bit lacking. It's not like super lacking, just a touch, just a skosh, just a little bit. But gotta be honest with the review and gotta mention the critiques of a beer, and I would say that it's a bit thin. The mouthfeel is really nice. It's effervescent. It's the beauty about Belgian beers to me is like, it really doesn't matter the style, at least in my experience, but most of them are very effervescent. There's a lot of great carbonation. It's spritzy on the palate. It dances on the tongue, the carbonation. Very bright from a carbonation standpoint. At the same time, though, it still can be smooth and creamy, and that's what this beer is. Like you take that sip and it's like, well, yeah, no, this is carbonated. This is definitely moderate carbonation. But then you finish the sip and you're like, has this nice smooth creaminess to it. And I can get down with that. So I think the mouthfeel is fantastic. Body's a bit thin. The taste, the nose carries over, but in a slightly different way. From front to back, there is an unmistakable fruitcake vibe. So it's darker brown bread mixed in with dried dark fruits and like other like candied fruits. So plum, fig, date, cherry, more of like a sweeter like maraschino cherry, maybe even a bit of like a pineapple or maybe like an apricot. There's a lot of fruitiness here. It's a very fruity beer, more than a lot of quads that I get. Like the fruitiness is the predominant note in the taste. That's not a bad thing. It's just stylistically, I don't remember quads being as fruity as this, like over the top fruitiness. However, it works really nice. Again, that breadiness kind of hits me, then all the fruits. Then after that, I get a little bit of like a caramel, dare I say a blackstrap molasses. Touch it like on the sides of the tongue, like a little bit of a vanilla tinge. There's an underlying like, see, in the nose is more banana, but I'm getting like a bubblegum like kind of yeast ester, but it's very, very small, super minute. But it's something that I noticed, so I have to mention it. On the finish though, this finish is very zippy and spicy. Like, has like this spicy herbaceousness, not even a spicy herbaceousness. Yeah, you know what? Maybe a spicy herbaceousness. It has a little bit of like an herbal tone, but for the most part, it has, to me, coriander, maybe a little bit of like a white pepper, maybe a touch of a clove. But what the spiciness does for me personally, and it might not be doing it specifically, it's working in conjunction with the dryness. This is full on dry. Very mild bitterness. Most quads don't have a substantial bitterness. It's 39 IBUs. Forgot who posted. I think it was Tobias. Fucking Joe. Tobias. Hey, Tobias. He mentioned like, hey, that Mary Monk's, which is Belgian-style Quadrupel Ale, is like 15 IBUs seemed a little bit low, and it did seem a little bit low. I didn't, in the taste, necessarily like feel 15 IBUs, and I've mentioned IBU ratings don't really matter. I mention them at the beginning of every review for all beers because it's just kind of a OCD thing I do. But I would say that 39 IBUs is appropriate for this. This is probably in that 35, 40, 45 realm. It has a mild to moderate bitterness, I would say, but it's more dry than bitter. But I don't think this, like if you saw 40, 45 IBU, something like that, you might be scared off. I don't think so. And I don't know, like as far as stylistically, if you go by like BJCP or whatever, what the IBU ratings for a quad is. But I feel like 40 is probably in that realm. But anyway, Tobias. I said fucking Tobias. I'm going to take another sip. I don't deserve one, but I'm going to take one. Anyway, this is really nice, though, for a quad. Again, finishes firmly dry, mild to moderately bitter, very well balanced. I could see some people being overwhelmed by the fruitiness of this one to the point where it's like, all right, that's a quad to some degree, but it's a little bit too fruity. This kind of, to me, is it's like a hybrid of like a quad and like an English barley wine. I think it does have some of that malty, fruity goodness you get from English barley wines amped up. So maybe not stylistically 100% correct, but as like a beverage goes for 11.8%, really nice. Again, so there is now a firm warming in my chest, but nothing on the palate. 11.8%, I'd guess like 10, 10.5. Like it hides it extremely well. I'm going to pour in the rest of the goodies here because I don't think it's going to really matter as much. But this is really nice. It's a little bit better than I remember it, but it's also, again, not upper echelon for the style. I would say this, if you like a more candied fruit quad, a more dark fruit quad, a more fruity quad in general, then I would say, I feel like the fruit character in this one is very intense and bold. Dare I say bombastic. Shout out to Paul over at PA Brew News. And I think the Belgian yeast quality isn't as pronounced as like an authentic Belgian quad. So if you're somebody who that sounds good, then I would say give this one a go. Myself personally, like a little bit more than I used to. I said 4, give it around 4 out of 5, and go a little bit higher. So quad from Weyerbacher, or dare I say a Weyerbacher, maybe W.E. Weyerbacher. Shout out to Matt over at Massive Beers. Low 4.25, go 4.15. I think that's a fair score for this. This is a really nice Belgian, and I'm glad to say Belgian-style Quadrupel Ale. They don't call it just a Belgian Quadrupel Ale. It's a Belgian style. They try to go for the Belgian-style Quadrupel Ale, and I think this has made it like 80% of what the beer should be. I just think a little bit more of that Belgian yeast character needs to be prominent, and I think it needs to be a little bit thicker in the body. Like I would like something that's more like, I'd say medium to full body as opposed to like lower side of full. And I think, yeah, you have a Belgian quad for sure. Still, 4.15 out of 5 is a good score. And yeah, price point availability. I paid like 5 something. I think like $5 to $5.50 for that bottle. And I want to say 4 packs are typically $16 to $18. Wherever I buy singles nowadays, doesn't matter where I buy the single from. Could be any of the like half dozen stores I shop at. They're always a bit more expensive than a 4 or 6 pack. Most places that break up 4 and 6 packs, they'll say, okay, here's an $18, 4 pack of this beer. So you're talking $4.50 a bottle. But if you want to buy a single, it might be $5, might be $5.50, might be $6. Places do that. They have to take their time to, list it as a single, put it on the shelves as a single. I'm fine with that. And it allows me to be able to buy mixed 4 and 6 packs 4 and 6 packs for, let's say I buy a mixed 6 pack and every bottle I buy is an extra 50 cents. That means I paid an extra $3, but I got to try 6 different beers instead of 1. I did this, which is 2 or 11, but you know what I mean. So I'm fine with paying $5.50 for that bottle, but again, I'm pretty sure 4 packs are like in the $16, $18, maybe even $20 realm. But if you get this in your neck of the woods, let me know what you pay for it, which brings me to availability. I have no idea with Weyerbacher. I have 0 idea. I just know here in New York State, we're starting to see them again. Is it Fraser? I think it might be Fraser. I'm trying to think of who mentioned that they were starting to see Weyerbacher in New York. Somebody else mentioned it. I forgive. I'm old. Got a lot of comments. I don't know what the fuck's going on, but I think it was Fraser who mentioned that he's seen these in New York State recently as well. So if you're in New York State, we're starting to get Weyerbacher stuff again, which is really cool. I miss their beers, so I'm very happy I was able to grab 4 of their beers and could have grabbed all 6 if I really wanted to. So anyway, if you've had this one before, whether it's a recent release or an aged release, whether you had the barrel aged version, which is blasphemy, post in the comment section. That's why I do these reviews. I apologize for the tangents and like the longer review and me not even talking about the beer at times, but it happens. sometimes you start wandering. In the middle of reviews, my mind starts wandering, and it is what it is. But hopefully, it was a good review. I don't know. Are any of my reviews good? Probably not, but here we are. Anyway, appreciate it. But I did say 11.8%, hides extremely well. Even as I'm talking now, slight warming in the chest, nothing on the palate. One of the most impressive things about this beer is the simple fact that the mouthfeel is fantastic. It hides the alcohol well, and it has a very fruity vibe to it. So if you like fruitier, bigger quads, this is for you. I'm going to shut this one down. Appreciate everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. To the next one. Cheers.